So just to contextualize, who is Mr. Evert? Yeah, Cristoph Evert. How is that you landed into this wonderful new industry of electromobility? How all it started for you?
I studied maths and sports, and I focused on electrical bikes. So it's called Pedelec in German. Electrical supported bikes, and that was a big thing in the 2008 to 2012, and I did a lot of testing in that. And then there was a regional project dealing about electric mobility in the context of the Olympic Games, where Germany applied for 2018 in Munich and Garmisch-Partenkirchen, and I was heading a project to do research on electric mobility in the rural area and in the touristic area, how to make the touristic approach even more sustainable with electric mobility. That was my first step into electric mobility. After that, I joined E.ON, and since that time I'm responsible for Germany and now Austria and Switzerland in E.ON.
Back by then, I guess for you and as for many other early stakeholders, all started by curiosity.
Yes.
Yeah. And when was the time when you really thought to yourself, hey, this is going serious? Yeah. I can build up a career because I feel passion for sustainability, because I think this is something cool. So when it happened to you?
When my first child was born, and I started to build a house. And with the thinking about the house, I also thought about building a garage, building a photovoltaic system on the roof. Why to do that? Is it worth doing? Because the subsidiary was not so big. But if I drive electric to my office and back, it's absolutely worth investing in a photovoltaic system and having my own energy. So not spending money at a gas station, but only spending money beforehand on my roof.
So as a properly early adopter, yes. You can define yourself as a proper early adopter.
Yes, absolutely. And I also built at that time I had a e-Golf, which was the car I could afford at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Already out of the market, yeah?
Yes,
but
exactly.
But it was an icon.
And but still, I drove from my hometown to Garmisch-Partenkirchen with 12 kilowatt hours for 100 Ks.
Yeah.
And I think this is still now benchmarking the whole cars I drove after that. And having my own small charging station at home, having my photovoltaic system on the roof. Yeah. I always said it's like having my own energy used for my daily work. So that was really the time I saw this is changing society, changing the way I move, and I wanted to bring that to the people.
So how was the entry into E.ON as a huge company, promising career, So, and then taking a lead role, in the electromobility market, because still now there are some believers, and others not, with prejudices. I mean, internally also. I mean, one might think, okay, E.ON as an energy company, everyone there is believing in e-car, but actually we know that is also part of our mission, to explain others, to disseminate information, to put down those prejudices. How was back by then? So there was also resistance in the team.
That was my first question I asked when applying at E.ON. How is the situation in this company? And as in the society, a lot of people doubted. And what I really enjoyed going to E.ON is that there was a small startup within E.ON that I could start in, which was not the big corporate thing. It was a small team of 25 people starting to build something. And we succeeded in winning some of the big customers, some of the OEMs, some of the big companies out of the DAX. And with this proving to be able to sell, to be able to deliver, we somehow also convinced E.ON now to invest heavily into e-mobility. And this was the path I wanted to follow, to convince not only myself, but also others, also within E.ON. That was okay for me, that there are still some doubts. Can we make business out of this? But for sure it is, in the DNA of E.ON is energy. And to deliver that energy to cars in future is a no-brainer. But are we able also to provide the infrastructure, the consulting, the building, And this to be proven was my path, and this was somehow happening between 2018 and 22, and now we are really following a European approach and having a really belief that e-mobility is part of our DNA also.
Okay, so now the hot topic of this talk, the test facility. Yeah, so these first early years testing or mini team experiences. 6 years later, we have this huge testing facility, which is something that you might be proud because you were part of the whole project, designing or thinking or whatever. Can you, just for people that is not aware of this, yeah, some figures, some metrics of this, what means for E.ON this test facility? How many square meters? How much money you invest on? How many cars are tested daily, or how many charging stations are tested there? So
we have 10,000 square meters. We call it TestingLab, and in this TestingLab we have 3 big climate chambers where we test the chargers in extreme situations. Also in Germany we have in summer sometimes 40 degrees, in Spain even more, and if those chargers still work with the temperatures, outside temperatures, we are testing there nearly every AC hardware that is coming through the tenders to us. But not only is it working with the car, but also is it working with photovoltaic systems, with load management systems, with batteries. So is that to be integrated, not only hardware-like, but also software-like? So is the IT in the background able to cover the needs of the customer? Is it a B2C, so an end customer, or a B2B customer? And all this is coming together on the 10,000 square meters. We have now 3 megawatts of power linked to that building. That's really a lot, because we also test in there charging for trucks.
Yeah,
and it's possible also to drive in with the truck. So it has huge garages, huge garage goals where you can go through. Is that right? Garage goals?
Yeah.
So it has
lots of.
Yeah. So you can drive in with a truck and charge within the test facility those trucks. So the big thing is now megawatt charging. So trying that within the testing lab is what we aim for, and having also the power and the possibility to do that not only not in somewhere where the power is sufficient from a grid perspective, but we can do that really locally and try to find optimizations together with the manufacturers and also together with all the IT partners we have.
I guess I'm just think to myself, so what does it mean a testing project for in any field? Testing project means learning, for all parts involved into the testing process. So I guess those fleets or partners charging in the test facility will get something in back, like an agreement, a particular deal. So then to be part of this testing project and have something in back. What learns are you sharing to your partners participating into this testing facility?
We are pretty open to our partners. So we provide them the reports and all the findings we have to give them the chance also to develop themselves. There are sometimes IT related topics that we think can be made better. This is somehow also linked to our E.ON infrastructure of IT, but also there are sometimes findings all around safety, things like that, where Germany may be the highest regulated market in Europe, but still the regulations make sense sometimes, to protect the consumers. And I think this is something absolutely to be shared with those manufacturers. For example, there is, when you open a wall box, maybe all the cabling is not sufficient for what we think should be in there for a customer if he sometimes opens it and then gets in a serious threat situation. So this is something we share with them and give them also the chance to optimize and to come back to us and to test again.
All this sounds like a very complicated to achieve. I mean, now it sounds really exciting, but I guess the process was very complex and difficult to achieve. And I guess also is linked to a strong leadership. Someone, I don't know who, but someone or maybe just few people, but they were believing on this vision. So how other companies can achieve that? Because it's something that others can do, but actually it's not happening in Europe. I mean, I know that another test facility, but an insurance company, yeah, because they need to test incidents. So they have these test facilities for testing the battery damage and so on, many other potential incidents. And now there's E.ON. I don't know if there's other energy companies doing the same in Europe. Why this is not happening often? I mean, it sounds very simple, like, hey, create your lab, put some money and learn.
I think the why E.ON is first, maybe, and others will follow,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, is that we provide a very broad approach of different solutions. So beginning with e-mobility for us was not the beginning for E.ON. For E.ON, the beginning was photovoltaic systems.
Okay.
And photovoltaic systems somehow led to the point that an energy company providing hardware is not really experienced. We provided contracts for energy. So being really sufficient in how we want to provide this, we have a lot of know-how how to work on the grid in Germany, and there are a lot of things on HSE, health, security, environment, that we follow there. And fulfilling that also for a photovoltaic system needs some work additionally to maybe to TÜV signs or TÜV certificates or anything like that. We want to make it work integrated. And starting with photovoltaic, e-mobility came additionally, and batteries came additionally, maybe even heating came additionally, or heat pumps came additionally. And all this is getting really complex if you have all those modules provided to the customer. And in this complexity, I think there are not a lot of energy companies providing all of that. We are, as E.ON, not an energy producer, we are a solution provider.
Yeah, that's a very smart approach. Yeah.
And this is exactly why we then have to care about the whole and end-to-end solution, which is really complex in this.
More challenging.
Yes, in the sense of you have to also integrate different providers into your IT system, and this forced us maybe to step in that as first.
Magic word, regulation, policy. So when we attend conferences or talking about energy, we cannot avoid the topic, and you already mentioned. Do you think in the future a solution will be to have a more integrated market in Europe, just like the United States? You know, you have the States, single market, but here we have 27 markets, particularly for energy, which is okay. So do you think this is something that we must to achieve as a society, even though it sounds like it's not part of the priority? Yeah, when you look into the political agenda, it's not on the table. Yeah, but do you think that's the way to improve our energy lives in Europe?
It could be. We are trying with the e-mobility to serve customers all over Europe with a same approach, with nearly the same processes and all the same products.
Yeah.
This is an aim we have, and I think this is for E.ON at the moment a sort of step into a really leading position, because there are not many of those companies located anywhere in Europe that can serve all over Europe.
Indeed.
And this is something we try to understand for us as an USP, to be able to do that. Regulatory, I would say this is really complicated and hard to achieve, honestly. Yeah. From the energy perspective, I would say those countries are pretty independent, and to bring that together is also affecting a basic need of people. So it's going to the core of Europe, I would say and I think that's really hard to achieve.
Yeah, indeed, it's part of the European history. Yes. Yeah, to keep those national identities safe of certain markets, but somehow we are sharing this vision that this is also stopping innovation, stopping competition from China, from United States. Somehow we have like two opposite forces. Yeah, like hey, we want to protect our people. Yeah, but on the other hand, hey, we need to be stronger. Yeah, to compete. And in the particularity of energy suppliers, okay, so you have like strong national players, whatever number is depending on the country, maybe 3 per average, like really national, okay, coverage. But then the CPOs and SMEPs, then we have a replication of that, but scalable. instead of 3, there are 10, 20 per country. And so then we have unnecessary complexity there.
But maybe e-mobility is the field where this can happen first. I think this is exactly how the setup is in the market with CPOs, EMSPs. We have a sort of setup that could serve an all over Europe solution.
Yeah.
And I think this is, if we don't talk about the energy, we only talk about that part of the solution that's around hardware, servicing this hardware and operating it. I think that could be a first step for all energy companies, maybe to standardize all over Europe. I don't think it's possible within the old energy world, but maybe in this new energy world, that could be an opportunity for us also to make that more unified all over Europe. Yeah.
In our service, actually, we have realized that more than 50% of the CPOs suppliers per country are local players. And maybe it's only 40% of those CPOs are international players. And when we look into those players' challenges, then we realize, okay, it's interoperability. So this is all correlated. Yeah, so...
Yes, you're absolutely right, and especially if we talk about Germany, there are also those regional Stadtwerke with an absolutely strong role, and they are also covering, I would say, a lot of charge points that are needed within the cities, and they have really an important role to play, but they also have no interest to play internationally. But I would say developing the market now is exactly for the big players that are maybe more, all over Germany. These are not so much, and they could drive that and also collaborate. All the collaboration in the field of energy providers is grown and very old, and so E.ON knows also all Stadtwerke all over Germany. Maybe that could be the opportunity also to involve them and to bring, let's say, an European approach in that.
Today in a conference we heard someone speaking about the Chinese electric vehicle market, which is actually much more mature, and the kilowatt per minute or per hour prices are so slow, so much more competitive. Are you prepared for this? I mean, the early years of any innovation means also high rates of margins, financially speaking. Yeah, but in the future, we all know that a more mature market will slow down those margins. Are you prepared for this? How do you face this in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. The first target for us was always scalability, so to be able really to scale our business. And I'm specially focused on the B2B, so scaling now the B2B. Having good services in place, so it's not only about the kilowatt hours but all the services that are around it, so servicing all the chargers, having special services about load management and things like that. So I would say the margins in one product are really limited, and absolutely I would say to make it for the driver really attractive, the kilowatt hour margin on the charger must really be as narrow as possible. Then it's attractive for the customer, but the surrounding for the one investing into that, there must be a really good service around it. And I think this is the key for being able to scale, to have more than only one product to be sold. And then I think that's our preparation for it, and I think that's
providing solutions more than a raw material, source of energy.
Yes. Yeah. And there, the solution is so broad. You can still add more things, and you can make it better. You can manage the whole ecosystem, and I think this is our path into the solution of scaling.
Cristoph, thank you very much for giving the chance to share your expertise, all this experience of the testing facility, and all your knowledge in the industry. Because I know there is people in other countries in Europe also looking to learn from each other. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for the interview, and happy to meet you again in the TestingLab in Essen.
Okay.